Indian and every IITian with this great hope and faith, this wonderful country of ours, it could have found a more efficient way to get to its goal, but it's got its own characteristics, like the bumblebee. It defies the laws of physics and economics, but somehow seems to bumble along. This quest for applying technology is not something that's new, that IITians are discussing or Prahlad. I want to read out to you in conclusion a wonderful advertisement which I came across. It's dated the 24th of July, 1929. Gandhiji announced an award to engineers for a machine design. And I'm not reading out the whole ad. I've got a copy of it. It was put out by the Akhil Bharatiya Charkha Sangh, Workers' Union, which offered rupees 1 lakh if a machine could meet 5 characteristics. First, it should be lightweight and easy to use. Second, a lady should be able to use it comfortably and without getting too tired for 8 hours. Third, it should be able to handle puni, which is handmade yarn, so that you could do some hand spinning, in addition to doing loom spinning. Fourth, it should have a cost target of 150 rupees. Fifth, it should run for 20 years without stopping or breaking down. And on this basis, Gandhiji put out an advertisement to which I will not go into the rest of the story because that will take us away from our message. This idea of frugality, this idea that you do not need everything that your greed demands, but you need everything that your needs demand, is embedded in Indian society. It's a great tribute that this society has encouraged it. Whether you consider it a great contribution to the world or not is not relevant. We need to find, and I totally agree with what Murthy said, that 5 of the 6 examples he took were from India. A lot more can be done by us.
Good is innovation if it lands up being manufactured in a place like China. US is facing it, and I believe India is facing it. If we cannot figure out how to own the value chain end to end, how are you going to solve this problem?
Well, for that to happen, there's a lot of work that our politicians, our bureaucrats, our corporate leaders, our educational institutions, and everybody has to play. We have to make it very easy for our manufacturing people to manufacture these items at the lowest cost. Let me give you a very simple example. About 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, we wanted to install safe deposit boxes in every one of the hotel rooms that we have on various campuses. We have about 15,000 rooms. We probably run the largest hotel in India. Anyway, and I wrote to a friend of mine who produces these safe deposit boxes, and he said, you know, after 6 months they came back and said it will cost you 5,000 rupees. And I was in China. I generally stay in 3-star hotels, unless I'm forced to stay in a 5-star hotel. And I was staying in one of these small hotels, and I found a very nice safe deposit box, and I asked our head of purchase to find out. And you know, we were shocked when these 15,000 safe deposit boxes were delivered to 11 development centers in India at 1,500 rupees. Now, we can give all kinds of excuses that there is a lot of huge subsidy, this and that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of efficiency there. There is a lot of coordination between government and the private sector. There are lots of good things that are happening. So if we all learn those good things and try and practice, I do believe that we'll be in a position to handle your concern of everything ending up in China.
I just want to add to what Mr. Murthy said. You know, you're right. But your question was, what is the use of the innovation if you can't manufacture it? I still think the innovation is useful. Innovators innovate because they have to innovate. Just like, sorry? Oh, you didn't? Then I misunderstood you. I think the innovation could be further enhanced if you could do what Mr. Murthy replied. But I hope we don't have the impression that we may not get the full benefit. Tim Berners-Lee worked on the internet, and the world got it. He did not make several billions out of it. So I would like to believe that hopefully as our infrastructure and so on improve, we will also learn to get the benefit of it. It's a great question.
Innovation will employ only 10% of our people. And what we are talking about, innovation also needs to be in the manufacturing side, and that's what we need to focus on.
Yes, please.
We all know that all of us landed up in IIT, and IIT became IIT primarily because we knew that we would all get good jobs there. That's what our parents and society told us. And getting a job really means, so the basic purpose which has driven us to be there was to get something and not to serve. Since both the speakers today are really influential in ways that are beyond imagination, is it possible for you to set up something which is more of an Indian Institute of Service rather than an Indian Institute of Technology? Because when you say Indian Institute of Technology, you're not making a statement about what the purpose of this technology is. And after having spent 4 years there and an entire lifetime, and then coming to one meeting where we hear from Mr. Gopalakrishnan right at the end what the purpose of it should be, will probably not change it. So could you do something to change the name probably to Indian Institute of Service or Indian Institute of Technology-based Service, or set up your own institute which does that? Or at least, we've been listening for the last few days that there should be courses on art and music and, you know, various kinds of things in institutes of technology. Can there be courses on why we should do things with Gandhian zeal or Mother Teresa zeal? Can we have some courses on why there should be service orientation? Because how can you reach the millions if every innovation also we are loaded with that concern, that how can we benefit?
I promise to discuss this further with Murthy and ask him to act.
You know, I think service is all about an attitude. It's all about process. And therefore, I think if we can focus on processes, if we can focus on quality, productivity of these processes, and of course, attitude is something that we develop right from our childhood, from our peers, from our elders. So I don't know whether attitude can be developed as part of a course, but certainly yours is a good idea.
Thank you. We'll have the last question. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Arun Srivastav from IIT Kanpur. I want to respond to Mr. Murthy, what he said just now about learning innovation. I attended a course called TA102 in 1967. That was in the first year. We did not have any engineering knowledge at that time. But that course fired our imagination. Can we have one more course at least in the IIT curriculum in the 5 years or 4 years, whatever it is now? It will fire our imagination, I assure you.
Thank you. We will now end the session, and I think let's once again give a big hand to both the speakers.